Yeah, say a prayer. Yeah, say a prayer. We need more prayers in this nation, I can tell you right now. That's the other thing. They want to shut down your religion. And they've done a pretty good job of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he wasn't being honest. But did you notice that there? Did you notice what he said? They're trying to shut down your religion. Ooh, it's that rare Freudian slip. It just slipped out there. Yeah, it's not his religion. It's just not. He's not a Christian. I'm not saying that he doesn't like them or whatever and doesn't want them to be in a position of authority over all other religions. I think he definitely does. But it ain't his. He doesn't believe it. It's a grift. He's a con man. And he reveals that in a variety of subtle ways. But I did like that. And then also the playing to the victim complex, they've done a very good job of doing it. The hell are you talking about? They've shut down Christianity. First of all, literally what has Joe Biden done to negatively impact Christianity, which he's an actual part of? Remember, Joe Biden actually goes to church, which Donald Trump does not. What, you can't go to church anymore? Christmas trees banned? No Easter celebration? Like literally there's nothing about being a Christian that is harder these days than it was 4 years ago. It's rarer these days than it was 4 years ago. Thank you, right-wing Christians, for that. You are so turning off the next generation that you might eventually kill your religion, but that's on you. That's not on the Democratic Party.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
Donald Trump tries to appeal to them, and he does it in speeches. He also does it in social media. He posted this on True Social. It's a happy birthday, Mary. So he posted that on September 8th, which Christians cite as the birthday of Mary. And okay, the reason I point this out actually is it's super weird for him to say happy birthday, Mary, to a historic figure that he doesn't care about. That is very weird, but I want to give Donald Trump credit because I've been saying for a long time, dude, just pretend to be religious. You're barely even making an effort, and that is an effort. That's a little bit of an effort. I didn't even know that it was supposed to be her birthday, but some actual Christian in Trump's orbit told him that, and he posted it, or an intern did or whatever, but it's something. And the other reason that I wanted to show you that was for one of the replies from one of his supporters, Speedy13, the 13th speediest person on True Social. It's got prayer hands, and it's Trump and Melania praying, except that it's not, because it's not real, because that's AI. And look, I don't think that our political leaders need to be religious. I myself am an atheist. I'm perfectly happy and comfortable with atheists in elected office. But if it is important to you, why are you faking it with AI? You know what happened to Speedy13? I don't mean like at a young age that put them on this life course. We'll never know that for sure, but I'm sure it's tragic. Speedy13 Googled Trump and Melania praying and nothing came up. Bupkis, they got nothing. So they went to Grok and they produced the image because again, Trump doesn't pray because Trump isn't religious. And rather than Speedy13 taking that opportunity to be like, oh, there's really almost no proof that he shares my religion, but he pretends to, that should probably bother me. Just go to Grok, okay? And generative AI your way out of a difficult cognitive situation. But anyway, Trump is trying to appeal to this group, and he is, against all odds, appealing to this group. But that group is not what it used to be. Over the last few decades, a growing number of Christians have left the traditional white evangelical churches, and a lot of them no longer associate with the religion. It's still a very big group, and it will be for some time, but it's nowhere near as big as it used to be. And I think it's not difficult to figure out why. Many, especially younger Christians, are super turned off by the explicitly right-wing political bent of modern day evangelicals. And it's not just the young. There are plenty of reasonable older Christians that don't want every single sermon to be just about abortion and how terrible trans people are. They find that to be a major turnoff. And that could be important for the future of the Republican Party. White evangelicals have been a key part of the Republican coalition since the 1980s. About 80% of white evangelicals voted for Trump in 2016 election. 76% voted for him in 2020, which is interesting. Joe Biden was actually able to take some of those. The exit polls estimated that 26% of 2016 voters and 28% of 2020 voters were white evangelicals. Now, what that actually works out to in terms of numbers, that's a different story, but the voting bloc is actually shrinking over time. So between 2006 and 2023, the number of white evangelicals dropped from 23% to 13%. And at the same time, the number of those with no religious affiliation rose from 16% to 27%. Now, this is a trend that we've been seeing for a very long time, and I don't think that it's very surprising, but it's continuing to this day. There's every reason to believe that maybe something about Donald Trump becoming the head of the Republican Party, or the fight over abortion, or the societal acceptance of gay marriage or whatever could have helped to create sort of like a sustaining element for the evangelicals, but we're not actually seeing that. The trend of the last couple decades seems to be continuing. And I think that that's a good thing for pretty much everyone, and I'm including evangelicals in that. I think it's definitely a good thing for American democracy. I don't think that 1/4 of the voters being bought off by these religious con men or whatever is good for the Republican Party or good for American democracy, but also for evangelicals. This is not what your religion is actually supposed to be about. And I know you don't want to hear that from me being an atheist and all, but you listen to Donald Trump talk about your religion all the time and he don't believe any more than I do. So just sit tight for a second. There's all this good stuff that you could be doing or learning about or considering that has some tie to your religion. I'm not a part of it, but I want that for you. Just having it be hunting down people who exercise bodily autonomy, does that not get at least boring after a while? Expand your boundaries a little bit. And in so doing, you might actually help to continue your religion, because it is a thing that we're seeing, especially young Gen Z women do not want to be a part of the religion with how much women are demonized by it. Like, I think this is a lesson they're almost going to have to learn at some point, or evangelicals will be an incredibly niche thing in a couple of decades. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.